And that kind of brings us to this next slide, which is this IP that we have owned for years now. It's one of the top casual games that's been played globally. It still gets played billions of times a year. It's called Gold Miner. And it's a very simple mechanic. It's a gold miner character that sits at the top of the screen that typically has a cart that moves left or right. And you hit the space bar, you deploy a claw to try to grab gold. So it's a very simple mechanic. That's probably why it's been so popular that you're able to play it in a web browser, on a mobile phone. It's accessible on almost on every platform. And if you haven't played it yet, think about an arcade or think about going to Dave and Buster's or Chuck E. Cheese back in the day where there's a machine that had a claw and you put in some money and you're trying to have the claw go down there and grab a toy or a prize, right? It's that simple of a mechanic. And this was one of the IPs that we've had, successfully launch on everything from Facebook Canvas to iPhone to Android to web browser. So this is a very beloved franchise. A lot of people have played it in their middle school days, but again, we still see adults play it today. What we wanted to do is we've been wanting to create a new version of Goldminer for several years, but we've been working on different projects. We've never had the time to just sit down and create a new one. And the AI team at Grab Labs, we've been thinking about, hey, well, maybe since we own the source code, and we own all the assets, maybe we could figure out a way of using Goldminer, and building a multimodal AI version of it that would allow us to kind of generate multiple versions of this and do it much quickly. So we were playing around with this idea, and then the team started to work on it, and it just all started to really come together. And so the new vision of Goldminer would be, imagine, and this was the prompt that I challenged all the team with, is what if a user could actually create their own version of Goldminer? Like, what if every person could actually in the game give a prompt that said, "Create me a version of Goldminer in Tokyo with cherry blossom trees and ancient ruins," and then boom, it would just get created. I mean, that was like the vision. Or create me a version of Goldminer at Coachella. So just thinking about all the crazy ideas that people would come up with, could we make that happen? And essentially, it was like real-time personalization. Could you modify the entire map, the environments, and the objects simply with the text prompt? And could we generate all these assets, right? So we needed to integrate Llama. We needed to have a language model component to it, and all of our experiences working with Stability AI. We were able to use SDXL to generate new images and objects, and then we had to innovate and create all these new innovations within our own workflows, for example, in painting. So you could specifically identify different objects within the scene and be able to just change those graphics in real time. So that was the challenge. And what ended up happening is we were able to kind of create this new workflow. And ultimately, the developers now we're able to quickly prototype. And I think that's the key thing here is, and we might be able to talk about this more later as well, but I feel like what AI is doing within the interactive entertainment space, it's not necessarily disrupting jobs, but it's more so allowing existing developers the ability to prototype much faster than we ever had before. And that just is going to lead to more time um, and more higher quality outputs that we haven't been able to do before in these same time frames. So, yeah, so this is Goldminer. We're really excited about how this is coming along, and I think I might have a slide in there later to kind of show you a little bit about what this is going to look like. So let's move on.